Beautiful evening out on the farm. Must be after 9, the sun is down. And we just flushed out the pivot. This is a circle of potatoes down at the cook flat. So it's down in the river bottom. It's our most amazing field. River bottom awesomeness, it's been called. And so we're gonna start it up. This field of potatoes is chipper potatoes, and they're going to Vancouver to hard bite potatoes, hard bite potato chips. They make lots of different kinds of chips. But anyway, so we're real excited to be growing potatoes for a potato chip contract. All right, so we are trying to level the hills. So that the pivot doesn't have to bounce up and down over the potato hills. And okay, left, we want to do. Anyway, it's a little bit tricky, but it's working good, so we'll just see how this goes here. Yeah, it's just really hard on the pivot's gearboxes to run over all these hills, so we got to knock them down. Well, most potato guys do it. We just didn't have a machine rigged up, so we just built one last night with these old shovels on it and spikes. Seems to be working pretty good. Anyway, we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we did do some leveling, but the frame just wasn't strong enough. So now we're adding 4-inch by 1/2-inch flat bar. We welded it on and then we bent it over to add more strength to our I-beam. And then we're going to rearrange our shovels a little bit. So anyway, so we're making some modifications and then we'll see you back in the field. Okay, we modified it. We made it stronger. Farmers often try things that have not been engineered. I don't know if that's shocking to anyone. So we modified it so that now we have 2 on each side, so it levels for both of the tire tracks. And we added some bracing there on the I-beam. So it seems to be working good now. Well done, Luke. Anyway, so we're leveling the pivot rut, and anyway, just so the pivot doesn't die when it's going around. It's just going along slowly, trying to get that rut filled or leveled, so it's not so hard for that pivot. So yeah, much smoother now. Not perfect, but he's gonna go over each one of them twice. Okay, so a bit of an update. I'm here getting ready to start a pivot. Rivers Electric came in and wired the new electric pump, or the electric valve. The russets on this half of the field are starting to come up. You can see little rows of them coming. Beautiful little potatoes coming through the ground here. It's awesome. So yeah, the russets, I would say, are about 50% emerged. And then the reds are on this other half. These are both for fresh pack. So these are going to grocery stores. And these were planted later because they're a shorter season. They're not coming out. We've got the pivot ready, and I'm just going to try this electric valve for the first time. And so it should be set to turn on when I hit, I've got the pump, Anyway, I've got the pump turned on. We've got it tied to when it's on wet. And then I'm just gonna push forward here. We're gonna go around twice at 4/10 of an inch. So doing that should make this valve open. There it goes. Electric valve. Slowly opening all the way. Super cool. And then if the pivot dies or power flickers or anything funny happens, then this valve will automatically close so that I don't flood out the potatoes anywhere. So that's our safety. And then the turbines that are pushing the water to this pivot, they're on pressure sensors. And so there is no kill wire between here and the pumps. They're 2 miles away. But the water is the kill wire. As the valve closes, the water pressure's up, and that's what tells the pump to slow down and stop. And if I'm running one of these other pivots nearby that are on the same pump, then it'll just adjust down to whatever pressure it needs. Okay, so that it's filling. It's somehow telling me I gotta wait. We got the voltage we need. The pivot's filling with water. We did do one round on this pivot, on this field early on, but this is the second time, the second lap of water. Peter's spraying with the big sprayer over there. And it's a chemical that is water activated. So you spray it on the soil, and then the water activates it, and it helps control many of the millions of weeds that try to grow here. All right, so almost done building this new pump site. It was a lot of rusted steel, so we attached to it with we got down to the main line, which was PVC, and extended everything up with Schedule 80 PVC, which is the high pressure stuff. It's thicker, and the gray color, I just think it will handle being out exposed to the sun a lot better than the thin white stuff. So anyway, so everything is Schedule 80 PVC. Ben from Torrie Excavating in Grassy Lake came and did this all for us. Our guys poured the new concrete. This also used to be just a wet spot because there's always water leaking and stuff out of the pump bindings. But anyhow, Ben from Torrie Excavating. And then we used to have a big aluminum pipe laying through the grass here out there. And now it's all underground so that we can clean all this area up and be able to mow it and take care of it. Yeah, those are the pipes over there. So now it comes out through that valve, under the ground, and into the dugout. And so I'm gonna order a 4-inch float valve so that I can not have to remember to turn on and off this thing and not flood the yard. And now I can just have the float keep the pond at a constant height all year round, which would be a lot better. So anyway, this is super exciting. The one thing that I wanted to point out here is I didn't know if I'd have enough pressure in the main line, because the main line comes from a settling pond up the road over a mile. And so it's under pressure from gravity coming down to here. So there's enough to push out there at the same time as I am pumping on the other side of it. And so that big 10-inch main line is under pressure, maybe 20 pounds or so, not a crazy amount of pressure. And then I open this valve here to the dugout, open this valve here to the pump, and it's sucking on it. And there's enough water that it doesn't suck air from the dugout. It's actually supplying both at the same time, which is fantastic, because that's what I need in order for that float to work over on the pond. So just turned that all on just now. That's excellent. We also put on another valve so that potentially if we need to fill sprayers or water tanks or anything from here, we also have a place that's easy to hook onto to fill with water. So this is awesome. The only thing we didn't change were these two special fittings that were welded up for this pump. And it's already, well, that actually looks like it's by a weld, but anyway, it's leaking here. And so steel is just temporary when you mix it with water, that's for sure, and oxygen. So awesome. Talk to you later. Oh, that's an electric valve there for shutting it off because this main line is under pressure. So if the pump kills, I need that to close so that we don't flood the field.